college moving, what you watching, and I am too old for this shit. All this and more on today's Brilliant Observations. Do, 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 do. That one hurt me. Hi, Amy. How are you?
I'm better than yesterday. How are you?
Oh, no. Was yesterday the day you took boy back to school?
Friday. So two yesterdays ago was the day that I took boy back to school. We're just gonna jump right in. I made the top 3 list of the board lead-ins. What are we gonna talk?
I hope we get to them.
With the way I talk, probably not. I have pushed my body and my brain and my soul past the limits that I knew I had. And it's so strange because those limits are so much closer than they once were. So somehow I got back into a pretty manageable week, pretty busy, pretty manageable week, and by my brain's standards. But again, hearkening back to a topic we've covered before, is it because I'm old? Is it because I'm old, or is it because of 2020? I couldn't take it. I got all the way to the end of the whole thing, and it was breaking down. Everything just snapped, cracked, and popped right off my body. I had nothing left. So we've got college friends coming through, or they've already come and gone. We've got another set coming on Sunday. We've got 2 more sets coming later in the month. So it's very exciting to have people coming and sleeping here and doing all this stuff. Simultaneously, it's back to school week for all 3 of my kids. It was, right? I'm Sunday after all of this has happened. One kid went to New York. Surprise! Went to New York for the week just to hang out with some friends. So we had to get him all settled and set up, and how are you going to pay for this? And meaning he doesn't have a job, so he doesn't have a credit card. We have a lot of friends whose kids have credit cards. They just have them with no job and no way to pay for it. And I'm like, nah, we're not doing that. So we had to set that whole thing up and add him to this card and give him the card and blah, blah, blah. That all happened. Now they're instituting a sort of sometimes uniform at school. I had to get everybody measured, get those all done, get all the forms done, get all that done. My oldest moved back to college. Got to get all his stupid shit coming. And I got people coming in that have come and gone. Their whole family was coming through, so I needed extra bedrooms. We have a dedicated guest bedroom all the time, so that's ready. But then I needed places for this one and this one and this one. So it was and plus plan the menu and plus do the thing. They came in, stayed. The night before college move-in left. So they came in. We had this big late night, happy, big, talky, laughy.
A staging area is set aside for everything.
And then the next morning, in their shared guest room bath, my oldest is leaving his house for 4 months to go to school at the same time that they're leaving to continue on their journey. So it was like this big, so it was, orchestrating all that. I drove out, dropped him off at school. The good news about all that, having gotten through it, taking him to school, I'm telling you this specifically for you. Dear listener, you can listen if you like, but this conversation is really for my friend Melissa. So I took him to school drop-off, and it was extraordinary. It was like we had not done this before. It was like he was going to a new school. It was so completely different in every possible way than the prior school drop-off. I can't even tell you. He, last year, stayed in a totally different dorm in a different part of campus. Long story, he wanted to be much closer to his primary studio, right? So he let the school pick. He threw his hat into the ring and said, I don't care where I stay. I don't care who my roommate is. All I want is to be closer to the studio because I live there. And they said, okay. So they picked everything. We didn't know what we were going to get. And he has the best dorm. We were terrified because it seems like the shittiest dorm. He is right on the main drag. If you can imagine any campus USA, they all have the town's public street with all the restaurants and all the extra bookstore and all the groovy bar and all the tattoo parlor and all the wizard games. All the crap is always, there's that street, right? In his campus, it's called Hillsborough Street. He is physically, he is on Hillsborough Street. That's his address. So he is on the busiest public. And I'm like, are you kidding me? This is terrible. This is awful. So we get there, come to find out, it's a 6th-floor building. Used to be a hotel that they've converted into a dorm. So he is on the back side of the building, fortunately. So he doesn't face the riffraff. It's got an elevator. Didn't have that before. 6th floor. Nobody above him. That's great. So it's a little quieter that way. The room is bigger. Has his own bathroom. Didn't have it before. It was a communal bath. Walk out his door, which has windows that function. Walk out his door, and he's on a patio that faces the canopies of trees. So he's got green all the time. Go to where the elevator shaft is, and it overlooks the bell tower, which is the landmark of the school. Come down the elevator into the lobby. Walk through the coffee shop, presuming you like to drink coffee, cross the street, and you're in his studio. It's like
amazing.
What happened to you? You're like an adult. So he was giddy. My son he doesn't do giddy, right? He was giddy. It was unbelievable. Oh my gosh, look at this. Oh, he acted like a student who wanted to be there. The place was mobbed. Everybody was wearing masks, which was no big deal, but it was such a different attitude. I feel like if there is anything to be gained from all of the hara of last year, that trial run, and he is in a 5-year program anyway, so I still feel like we would have lost a year no matter what. So I'm really kind of grateful that he had the stutter start pretend, false start year last year, because this, to me, felt much more like it should have felt last year.
Freshman year.
It was exciting. It was fun. There was a smile. He went and did a midnight run around campus as part of a welcome week nonsense. They all got together and got T-shirts and, who wants to go for a run at midnight? But they did.
Well, it's fucking hot down there. Midnight's probably the only time worth doing the run.
I guess. And, so the whole thing. And he's been FaceTiming me the whole time. And because his roommate doesn't even come in till today. So he had a whole full day where he could just be in the space and figure his thing out. And after a little while, he would, FaceTime me out of the blue and be like, did you know? And then talk to me about some comic book or whatever. So it was hilarious and perfect. And I just had visions of what's getting ready to go on with you and your kids, because I feel like you're really connected with them, and in a way that maybe I'm not. So that you have this really loving, perfect, maternal bond with them. And I so look forward to the delight of that deep, profound, connected parting hug that you're going to have.
Boy, am I going to smash that to shit right now with the fact that three days ago, my kids had their last off day, right? They had most of a day.
I thought they had every day was an off day. Oh! I'm just kidding.
One of them, my son had a really good summer. My daughter fucking hated it. But they had an off day. And for their off day, I know that she's miserable, and I know that they have friends who are in New York and New Jersey and don't have the time to go home. So they all come here. They switch between our house and this one other girl because we can give them all the comforts of home. They've been at camp with these counselors, these girls with whom they are co's for 10 years. We know these girls because they shared living space. It's a very tight bond.
This is your team experience. We have a team experience. You have the same thing. So yeah, I get it. Super get it.
So they're going to come home for their last day off a few days ago, and they made requests. I want these special things from the Amish market, which by the way was closed. So you have to find and get and right from somewhere else. Right. So I want these. Can you make these special brownies? My slutty brownies. This one wants this. This one wants that. This one wants the lemon lime vintage brand.
No pressure. All the pressure. Just all the pressure.
So, and I don't leave the house. So it starts with like a Wegmans order, right? An Instacart. And then I have to mask up and scramble after that. So we're killing ourselves, Stuart and I, to make sure he's planning to wash the car, and he's got all of the dad things. I've got all the mom things, all these kids. So we check. I just put the slutty brownies in the oven, and we check the Find My iPhone. And they had just left camp. Okay, great. Super, super, super. They're leaving. I put this stuff in there. I'm about to wash things. And Stuart's like, you know what? What if they don't come directly home? What if we go eat outside at our favorite breakfast lunch place, Nudies, that we absolutely love? Let's meet there and let's just get them full of a very eggy, starchy something breakfast, and then they'll come home and here goes. I'll start the laundry, because that's the other thing I do on their days off, and not just for my kids. I do it for the friends that they bring home. One day off, I wash 5 girls' laundry. You know how many thongs I folded? Do you know how to fold a thong? Like, I don't even know where to start on that.
I'm so alarmed by all of this.
Right.
I'm just alarmed by it.
So
I'm alarmed by it.
So you
got to slow down. You got to slow down. It's very important. Everything you're saying is really exciting. We're committed. We're invested. I love it. Thongs, and you got to touch them. You're touching other people. I mean,
I shake it into the laundry, and then I fold it when it comes out on the other side. I throw in the laundry bag. I throw in everything. I do each kid separately, so nobody's thong gets in somebody else's.
Wow.
Right. So I'm all like, I've got the laundry lined up. I'm like ready to go. So we're finishing all this stuff, and Stuart calls and says, hey, how about we take you guys to Nudies for breakfast, all of you, and we'll sit there and my daughter says, oh, what a great idea. Why didn't we think of that? And he's got her on speakerphone because it's almost like my husband doesn't know how to use a phone. So speaker is the only method. And I'm kind of glad and furious like that he only knows how to use it that way, because I got to hear how horribly obnoxious and nasty. And I was like, and then she said, and why don't we invite this other kid to meet us there? Yeah, Dad, that's where we're going.
Oh, are you? Are you going to be paying the bill too, you little slut mouth?
With our credit card.
Did that come out of my mouth? I'm sorry.
With our credit card, they are.
She's just a mouth. I'm sorry. Okay.
So I was like, oh,
woo!
And there I am, like up to my neck in dishes and soap and lined up all the
washing
treats.
Your stupid whore's underpants. I've had enough, and you haven't even started.
And you haven't even started. So I was like, I walked over to Stuart and his phone, and I just hit the little red hang up button because smoke is coming out of my ear. And then I realized they just giving treed me. My kids fucking giving treed me. Take. Did you think for a fucking second that I want breakfast too? Did you think for a split second that since I'm paying for yours with your friends, you might as well invite me, even if you don't? Or how about just letting me know as I sit at home and wait for the car we pay for to arrive?
Yeah, what happened to ask? What? When did that fall off? What about that one?
So I don't know. I don't know if it's more annoying that what happened to ask disappeared the second that Stuart said to me.
That's what we're doing.
That's exactly what came out of their mouth.
Just wow.
Yeah.
Just wow.
So Stuart said to me, they've kind of been away and they're really independent and in charge of things now. So they're not really thinking about you and us. And I said, well,
they're not thinking about you and us.
Yes, that's part of my objection that they're not thinking about. But they cut off my branches. They used to swing from my leaves and I just all of a sudden I'm a fucking stump that they are coming home to sit on while my stump does their laundry. Like I just realized, like, you're so done with me. You have no use for me anymore other than to when you're already old and tired to put your ass on me so I could wash it. Like, that's really all I'm good for now. And instead of being a good, better, whatever person like my husband was when they walked in, just happy to see them and be included in the smallest part of their day.
Right.
And keep in mind, they're not alone. They have company, right? I could not.
That's the worst. That's the worst. That's the worst. When you're ready to fucking throttle somebody and everybody's like, hi.
If you're a better person than I am, it's the worst. Oh. But if you're not, if you're not,
break it down. Tell us,
throw that fucking brownie bowl into the goddamn sink and you say, did it even occur to you to invite us to go with you? Did it even occur to you to think that we are waiting here for you because, I don't know, we fucking adore you. We worship everything you do. And now we understand you've moved on in your life. And we really are just in the glow of your rays. And we're okay with that. But if you're coming home for a day off, we're the home in that sentence. And we just letting us know what you're doing as we are waiting and haven't eaten and are scrambling to give you joy. Did it even occur to you? So of course, I got to vent, which made me feel better. But then my 6 foot, almost 4, we find out tomorrow how tall he really is. We have our last pediatric appointment. The kid's 18. I don't know why he's still going there.
No, he's not even allowed to anymore. But keep going.
Well, I think you're allowed to until 21, but we're going because
mine you're not. But keep going.
They boot you at 18.
16.
Oh,
they told us at 16 that we should start looking for another one because the cutoff, like there is, I think the cutoff is when you at your 18th birthday they don't see you. So their practice tells you at 16 you should start transferring records and doing all the other stuff. So when we did for the oldest, we just moved it because I was like, okay, well, fuck off. So I just moved everybody else because I'm not playing that damn game.
I think for
You're
my
a doctor,
kid,
suck my whole ass. If you can't order a test and read a book, I mean, Jesus, never mind. Go ahead.
I think for us it's vindication because he grew a foot. He lost 50 pounds. Like he's just this colossus now, right?
So I love getting the
it.
official report.
Look at this.
No, I don't want to take away from the mountainous man goes to his tiny doctor.
Right. I want to see what that. And as his mom, I want to see what that looks like. Like
I know. I remember when you said we could tell by how long his ear canal is if he's going to be over 4 feet. And look at you now, fucker.
How about what's your favorite meal? Spaghetti. Oh, I could tell. Oh, really? Well, guess what, fuckers? Take a look at me now. Right?
Yeah.
How do you like me now, bitches? Yeah.
Yeah. And do you have a psychiatry name? Yeah, because
I'm looking for 3 referrals. I'm looking for psychiatric, non-pediatric, and so that would be great.
Non-douchiatric. Yes, that's what we're after.
So I pitched this 5-year-old, 3-year-old fit, like soapy water is spilling out of the sink now, and I'm like a horse after a race. And Ethan comes over with his like tall, gangly arms and he wraps them around me and he says, I'm sorry, you're right. And I hear Mallory's friend say, if only someone in the car had said, we should invite your parents, or should we at least call them and tell them we're not coming right home? Or all of the things that they should have done is what this girl said that they should have done in the car. And you know, this is how different boys and girls are. Ethan immediately took the air out of my hate sale. Like he immediately ended with the you're so right, and that face, like, you know, he hadn't shaven in probably 7.5 weeks, and he has this weird red uneven beard of pedophile thing going on. Meanwhile, he works with 7 and 8-year-old kids. Let's surely fucking hope not.
We call that a cracker beard.
He had a cracker beard. Yes,
but it's like coming in anyway. Yeah,
and some are like the long ones, and it's red. Yeah. Like it's
my oldest end up looking like whatever the guy is on Scooby Doo. What's his name?
Shaggy.
All I think of is Scoob. Yeah, he's got a shaggy beard with the dumb thunk.
Yes, I love that.
They're even dark.
So he just like wraps himself around me, and then like psh, all the air came out of that hate sale, and all of a sudden I was like, okay. And then I turn and look at the girl. They're very different, boys and girls. She's like, well, if you're already pissed, I might as well go upstairs and pee. So she left the room, and then okay, very different animal.
Was that the look, or did that word come out
she
of
left.
her mouth?
She said it. She's like, I'll be right back. I need the bathroom. So she went upstairs, and I'm hanging with her friends and the boy, and everything's better. And as she comes down and sits down and rejoins society, she must have had a lot to drink at the diner that she went to that didn't invite me to.
Of course she did. Terrible.
A lot of chocolate milk there. So she looks at me with sad eyes and puts her arms out for a hug. And I said, "Oh, you're ready for me now?"
Right? Yeah.
So
since your arms are already out, maybe you can lift your laundry bag and go do your own fucking clothes.
No. She was very lucky that he was also a culprit, and he really deflated that hate sale. So I was like, okay, I'm not stupid. I didn't know it wasn't intentionally fucking dumb, but I'd like you to know that what you did was fucking dumb. I know you were trying to hurt me, but boy, did you. And I don't take hurt well. I inflate, and I usually strike out when it's your father. I can't strike out because you're my kid.
Did you ever see The Mandalorian? I forget what he had on his arm.
This
like
is the way,
or something.
Course.
Where, he like presses the button, and then like all these darts fly out and immediately puncture the hearts of everyone in the room. You have those.
That wasn't the Mandalorian. That was the Galaxy. That was
That's the Mando, baby.
No.
He is singing doves. They're called singing doves.
So what's the one with the Galaxy one where Guardians of the Galaxy, where the guy whistles the little flute and all of these?
That's a one. Right. That's one device that kills multiple people
Yes.
in rapid fire. It goes ding, 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 ding. Whistling doves. He presses a button, and all of them
Oh my God,
deploy
yes.
simultaneously.
Oh
So
my
it's
God,
like,
yes. And
and then we're all done.
I'm rewatching
Yes.
that as well because I loved The Mandalorian. So anyway,
This is you.
they completely giving treed me and left me as a laundry doing stump. And that's how I was until yesterday when they came home for the summer. They're done. The camp is over. They put their kids on a bus. They cleaned their bunks and they got in the car and came home. Of course, they said, Mom, we're stopping at Wawa and then we're coming home. Do you want anything? Like very
So
intentionally.
you are a learning robot.
Right. Very
Yes,
intentionally,
okay.
like, you're an asshole and I know you're going to freak out, so I might as well do this. I'm like, well, keep doing it. I'll be that asshole for you, but keep doing it until it becomes a common courtesy fucking practice.
Right.
So I wanted to let you know if you need anything, I'm here for you to sit on and I'd be happy to do your laundry. So we too are preparing this week to put the boy in his home for the next 4 years. And I am wondering what it's going to be like because I see pictures posted.
See?
There's a parent group that has, I just dropped my kid off today and I did this. They're showing pictures. And I thought, I need to ask Amy what her oldest has on the walls of his dorm, or at least what he did for the 10 minutes he was there freshman year. What was done? Because the pictures I'm seeing have all like the Pitt banner. You're at
Right.
Pitt. Do you need to have a Pitt banner on your wall? How about I get you a big
there's
banner of all of our faces or the Giving Tree or our dogs or something that's not where you already are? What do you do about that?
Seems like there's two camps. Because I saw all the pictures of its move-in day. So here's the picture of the dorm with everything looks a little bit shabby, but meanwhile, there's something pasted up on the wall. Fully half of them our colors are black, white, and red. Okay? Fully half of them are the red logo and the banner and the thing and the wolf and all the rest of it. It's everywhere. Everywhere. It's on the bedspread. It's on the towels in the bathroom.
Gross.
It's on the trunk. You've got pennants and it's like
And some
all
are
the
like
and they're
that?
all wearing and they're all and big tapestry hanging. They're all wearing the shirt. Everybody in the picture is wearing the shirt. It's like, yes, we get it. We see.
We know where you
So,
are. We know why
yeah.
you're posting. Could you?
That's fully half of them. And I would say that in our friend group, we've got 3 kids who actually play on the sports teams there.
That's
So
different.
Legit.
That's different,
legit.
yeah.
I mean, if you're a Division I sports team school, you get to wear the fucking colors, and I don't want to hear it. So, but the rest of it is like, what are you doing? What are you doing? So, and sometimes it's the girls who have all this, and I'm like, what are you doing?
that's a bigger
So anyway,
question.
Okay, it's like, yeah, you don't
What's
need
the other
universal
option?
flip-flops. The other option is, in my case, you just look like we have dropped you off at the homeless shelter, and here's like a cardboard box.
Here's some cinder
So,
blocks.
Bye. Or it's,
Okay.
or it is trying to think of her name. Brooke. It's not her name. Elle Woods. It's like Elle Woods' room.
Somebody threw up
From
pink and fuzzy
where-
everywhere.
Where they have the fairy lights are hung strategically. There's 18 mountains of pillows, and there's a carpet and a headboard. My favorite is when the girls bring a headboard for their bunk. They bring a separate headboard. Are you kidding me?
So I have a friend
Oh no.
who purchased a headboard for her daughter.
Oh,
It's
no.
like the
Oh,
latest
no.
craze now. And I said, I bought one of those pillows with the arms, like called husbands.
Yep.
I bought a
Yes,
pillow
yes.
so he could lean against the cinder block wall.
No,
but-
they have headboards and husbands, both.
Yeah,
Yes, but go
so
ahead.
she bought this and then it was kind of off in the wrong color, so she had to return it because her daughter said, I thought it was more gray or more blue or like a whole gray blue thing. And
Sure.
then she went to this wildly expensive website where, I mean, we used to look at baby linens that were just so gorgeous, but who the fuck's doing that so you could vomit on it and piss and shit
Are you
all over it?
talking about PB Dorm, which I just found, Pottery Barn Dorm?
No, this is-
which I
she
just
bought-
found by accident.
She bought like
Yeah.
a Serena and Lily, this very
Oh yeah, sure, love Serena
feminine,
and Lily, yep.
beautiful. And I said, wait, what? So she's purchasing, returning. I'm not a really good returner, so I don't really do big ticket
Right.
items if I can't
Right.
take it. Right. So she'll buy it, return it, bought it a different one, return that. My kid's at camp. He said, could you do my bedding? And I just did. Like, there was no, this isn't right. I feel so sorry for her Only because she absolutely created this beast of a situation because of her taste and her daughter's taste, and having it be okay to say this is a little more blue than gray. Guess what? That's what you have now.
Wait 10 minutes and put it by the window. It's going to be a different color anyway, and fuck off.
And
you're there to learn.
You drool on this. You threw up on that. Like, are you kidding me? What she spent on just the quilt and a sham is what I spent. Well, I'll tell you when I get there, on everything. I maybe almost everything. So I think
the emphasis is on the word sham, because it's a sham.
How many pillows does your kid need? How many pillows?
Well, my favorite part of it, I admit to you, I have twinges of jealousy. Even when I hear you talk with your minimalist approach to this, which I don't know that it's minimalist, but compared to me, my son won't even accept a new comforter.
You said rug the first year. You said he won't.
No, it's nothing. No, he's not. He has nothing now. The dorm he's in now is, it's not fully twice the size, but it's more than a third bigger. It's definitely much larger. So putting in a sofa and a chair, and they have a little patio where they can sit outside. I'm like, don't you want some bag chairs or something, or a little folding furniture or something? And he's like, I'm not going to do any of that. I'm like, I get that. I see that. But surely you want something to sit on that's not your bed or your desk chair. Come on. Nope. Don't want anything. Didn't want a comforter. Didn't want a new quilt. Nothing. It's the same ratty shit that he's had probably since, 7th grade, 8th grade? It was a nice quilt, but, ain't you fucking old? And it's like, stop it. It's not your blankie. Get off. What are you doing? And it's time to be replaced. Please don't take this into the world so that people think, we bought him all this. He is beautiful. Cole Haan shoes, J. Crew outfit, gorgeous Brooks Brother jacket. We got him a presentation outfit so that when he had to give a presentation in the architecture school, he could walk in, put on a good outfit. Do you know, something that you would wear out on a Tuesday night to dinner with your friends and be like, damn, you look good. You're not dressed up for work. But you're like, it's a next level of junk clothes. We got him at least one of those. Didn't even bring it. He's like,
oh,
nope,
shit.
Nope.
Maybe he'll take it back for Thanksgiving.
I'm going to wear my stupid, junky crap. So it's like, yeah. So he won't even do all of this stuff. I am super jealous of your friend for at least having a pulled together, I heard somebody say this on like a business forum the other day. When you leave the house, you should look like somebody loved you.
Right.
Like that's he don't look that way. He don't look that way. So I'm jealous of that much, but you don't have to have a foam backer with matching ties, with, the nonsense, and then the extra nonsense, and then the coverlet for the nonsense. It's like, what are you doing?
I think there's a big difference between boys and girls, though. But you have a boy who's on the far end of the don't touch anything, and I think mine's not that far from that, but he just didn't care what I had put in his room. He didn't care. If I gave him everything he just had at camp for his same twin extra long bed, he probably would have been fine with that, but it still smells like camp, and I wanted him to have a fresh start. Also, the closets are half hang and half wire shelf built in, and they have no door. So some people put a curtain rod and a curtain on there, and I'm seeing all these pictures, and I'm thinking, well, is that something he's going to want? Is that something I should do? And then I realized, I don't know. No, I don't know. You have my Amazon cart on your phone.
Bingo.
If there is something you want, I would like for you to text me and say, can you look in the cart? Is that cool? That's really all I want. Just in the beginning, until you figure out what I think is cool and what I don't think is acceptable, to just ask about, can I just ship this to myself? And he'll have it in 2 days. So I'm really not worried that I didn't prepare him for anything. It's not camp where you can't go to Target. He could go to Target.
And I'm fucked in that way, because I told you the address, my child, where he lives.
Near everything.
He's a block and a half from a Target.
He's near everything.
On the same street.
Anything.
So I'm just fucked is the name of that tune. But, whatever. That part of the excitement is all of the people who are coming through to visit us this week are college friends. So that was also on the ride out there. We were able to say, just get really excited for this year. You see how important college relationships are. Look, daddy's friends are coming through. Mommy's friends are coming through. We met all these people at college. We're still friends with them 8,000 years later. This is going to be the greatest time. Don't worry about this thing that stressed you out. Forget about that thing that was causing you grief or irritation. The most important thing is that you can go, enjoy yourself, learn something, it's experience. So I mean that part is really exciting to think about, and I can't wait. When you get in the car,
I'm gonna vomit.
You're gonna love it.
I have 2 more things related to school, and then I want to hear about your visits. But first, I learned this week when you hear from your kids, and it's not when you want to, by the way. When your children are away and they are happy, they don't text you because they're in the moment and they're happy and they're enjoying themselves and they're good. They're great even. When they pick up the phone to text you is when something's going sideways or they're upset or something's wrong. So as a parent, after your kid leaves, most of your experiences are, all right, so let's problem solve this. It's never just, I'm on my way to class. I wanted to just say, I had a great morning. I had a great class. I'm meeting friends for lunch. It does happen. It's very rare that you get those greats. You usually get the now what's or this is happening and this sucks. And I have 2 very different kids. One of them will ask, I need to solve this problem. Can you take your gray matter and put it towards this and let's talk it out? And the other one who's like, why are you trying to fix my problems? Can't you just fucking listen? And I have to code switch. Remember you said you're a different parent to 3 different kids. So I'm like, wait, which kid is having a problem? What do I say? Do you want me to solve this? I can see this so clearly, but you think I'm a fucking idiot. Only a listener. I'm a stump of a tree and a big ear just for listening. And this one's like, could you solve this problem? And to the other one, I'm a Rubik's Cube. So like, I just have to really think about it. And luckily I have 1 more year at home with this kid who wants me to just listen so I can watch her problem solving skills. And the other one is only going to text, I think, I'll send a text, you good? Like, those texts, you up? Yup. Like those, yep. This is not a booty call. This is a brain call. Everything good? You all right? So I learned that you're really not going to hear from them when everything's great. Just assume if you're not hearing from them, everything's great. So that's a different mindset for me because I like those affirmations. And if you're not getting them, that's a problem.
We have very different kids. I completely agree with everything that you're saying, but that's not the experience that we have here. I get such frequent contact from my kids, and it's always about nothing. And then when something really is going on,
crickets.
I don't really get the contact because it's almost like, yeah. They want it. We have a lot of, let me tell you about this thing that I just saw, or did you know, or always about entertainment and comics or this thing I saw. I need to show you this video right now. They'll come in during podcasting. They'll come in when I'm in a work conference call and make the hand gestures. Can you mute it? I want to show you this video TikTok of a guy cooking a steak. And I'm like, dude, you hear that it's a client, right? That's paying for your fucking steak. Can you maybe, right? So all that goes on. But when there's attitude and throwing a stick into the closet instead of putting the stick into the equipment closet properly on the hook where it belongs and, acting like a dick. Like all that'll go on for days and days and days until the real thing kind of bubbles out slowly. They don't actually tell me what's going on. They until I have to pry it loose like a tin can. And then I'm able to talk about it. So it's when the free-flowing happy conversation stops that I know some shit's going down. I hate it. Why are you making an eyeball?
No, that's
the
when
eyeball
you know.
that you would make.
Yeah, something's going on.
That's your spidey sense. I see. Stop it with the face again. She's making that face, you guys.
I went outside Melissa's box this week. I went to.
Oh, wow.
I know. It was shocking considering I've really used my box as a fortress these past months.
Everybody loves Melissa's box.
My new best friend had a birthday and her husband called and said, we're having a few people over, and I heard few people and I started to hive. And then I thought, I really love her and I want to share with her and show her that I want to celebrate with you. So I went and I sat outside in the corner of nowhere where I was, nowhere near people. I met some super lovely people. She actually has a deaf neighbor, so I got to sign.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I was so happy. So my hands were like, What are you doing? But it was kind of amazing. But I left my box and I went to a party. And then as I'm coming home, I don't know, I guess the radio was on CNN and they're like, the Delta variant is killing everybody. I thought I was just out of my, like the first time I leave the house and you start to panic. Am I not going to be able to take my kid to college? Am I not going to be, calm the fuck down. You are absolutely fine. You deal with whatever happens as it happens. That's what you're trying to teach your kids. I tell my parents, well, when it's time to panic, we'll panic. But until then, or time to worry, we'll worry. But until then, worrying beforehand seems...
When it's time to panic.
I meant worry, not panic. They'll panic. I'll worry. But, okay, my dad has prostate cancer and he went through treatments. And I said, well, we're going to see what size it is. So before it's time to worry, there's really no point in worrying. You're acting. You're doing what you need to do. So I said, why for once do you not take your own advice and just wait? Just wait it out. You're donating blood in another week. We have a lot going on. There's no time to sit and worry, but it is very important to be careful and still, as they say, mask up.
Well, that's part of it. And the other part of it, there's so much in what you just said. And I don't want to lose this piece, so let me blurt it out there.
Blurt!
I'm doing all the, I'm the self-help asshole right now. I'm doing way too much. That all on its own is exhausting. So
mentally exhausting.
Even having that extra layer, I'm doing an hour a day of input. And it's not simple, okay, I now know how to fold a sheet. Bing. It's like, it's shit that sticks with you and you've got to process and go through it and all the blah. So it's a lot. One of the things that bubbled up, I'm sure everybody's heard this before, but it was new to me. Worrying is praying for what you don't want. And I thought that's such a wonderful way to encapsulate it because that really would pull me out of it. When I would worry for something, worrying is praying for what you don't want. And it's just such a focus puller because why on earth would I be sending out the signals and wishing and wishing and wishing and focusing and emphasizing all of my energy, all of my attention, all of my psychic,
I absolutely love that.
It's praying for what you don't want. And that's an easier way to say, why the fuck would I ever do that? Right?
I love that.
I should instead focus on what I do want. And then that'll kind of jolt you out of the worry zone. So I love this notion of when you tell yourself, I don't want to be worrying, I get it cognitively, but I don't really know how to stop it. So, when you're in it, when your father is dealing with a significant diagnosis, you don't just get to say, poof, I'm not going to worry. So, I mean, it's, okay, well, think about what worrying does. Worrying gets you the opposite of what you want. Truly it does. So to actually, if it's effective at all, it gets you the opposite of what you want.
But not
so many people say it's just a waste of time. Yeah.
Adding on to that, I actually developed a new segment for this show called What Melissa Learned from TikTok this week.
How?
Because TikTok.
I wish TikTok had a theme song because then we would sing it. Go ahead.
Talk. Tick, 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 tock. We'll work on that as well. But following your theory of worrying is praying for what you don't want, what I learned from TikTok this week is 17 seconds. When you have a negative thought, it leads to a negative thought. And it's really, I don't want to say spiraling, but it's leading. It's a leading thought into the next thought. And if you are going in a negative way, I guess it is spiraling.
They're gears and they connect with each other.
They do. So if you take 17 seconds and you make it positive, that will gear into your next positive and will keep you from that spiral or from that gear turn into negative, because one positive, if you can keep a positive thought, I don't know where she got this from, but her credentials seemed real.
That's right. She is on TikTok.
She clearly has her own channel. What the fuck, people? So 17 seconds. And 17 seconds is kind of a lot longer than I thought it would be because I did
Maybe
do that.
Maybe that's where it comes from. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And I thought, I'm done. And I'm like, I still have another 7 seconds to go. So let me keep going. And it did perpetuate something more positive. And I was super grateful for that. And I totally thought of you. I might have even sent it to you. I'm not sure. And I thought,
you've sent me a few TikToks and I haven't been able to watch. Sometimes I get out of
what?
Because they'll arrive at a time when I'm in a volume no zone. Like I can't play it and hear it.
Yeah.
So then I think, okay, I actually searched on a couple of forums trying to figure out a better way to manage my texts, and there's just not. The only better way for me to manage my texts is to get a different text mechanism. I just use the Apple phone and their text mechanism, and it doesn't
doesn't
help me
sort at all.
It would help me if it had the most recent arrived and unread at the top always, and it doesn't do that.
No.
I have a jumble of 8 million group texts with 15 people going, fine, I'm in. Okay, $25
Like,
here.
thumbs up,
See you
like,
next
thumbs
week.
up.
I've got the cupcakes. You're awful. That's the worst. I'm so sad your dad died. I mean, it's like everything is happening on my text or a scene. So if I get out of sequence with your TikToks, I'll find it.
Don't worry, because I'll send
I'll
you
get
more.
a cocktail. I'll get a cocktail, and then I get like 9 TikToks. I get like a they go for a very long time. It's delightful. So I'm sure I have it. I'm sure I will watch it.
So that positive.
But the 17 seconds thing. Well, the 17 seconds thing, I feel like somebody else in one of these things to decompress from stress or to feel real connection and have the estrogen-like hormone that happens. I forget which one it is.
Like endorphin-y?
When you hug someone else. Yes, when you hug someone else, you have to hug them. I feel like it's 6 seconds or it's some amount of time that's like a weird longer than, because it ends up being just long enough that it feels strange.
Uncomfortable.
And it might have been
almost.
it might have been 16 or 17 seconds. And then that's when your body's like, oh, okay, this is comforting. And then you truly relax into it and you truly connect with that person. My kids are like, get the fuck off. I'm just trying to get a piece of toast. Can you get out?
Mama needs some endorphins.
I'm giving to you. I'm a tree of giving.
I'm a stump. You're luckily you still have branches from which they could swing. We got a message.
We did.
Yeah, we got a message from a psychic spellcaster.
What? How did I miss this? I'm so excited. What happened?
Yeah.
What? Where?
She'd like to connect with us, and I said nothing. Crickets. I sent back crickets because that's how I communicate.
Well, she's a psychic. She ought to know that already.
But she knew that already, right? I would like to know if you could cast a spell.
Yes.
And I mean, I actually had to go and check and see really because I asked my husband, I'm like, what do you mean by spell? Because he said, I would make the global warming situation reverse and I would save. And I'm like, that's
very
nice.
nice.
That's nice. But a spell is they're word or words which are supposed to hold a magical power that an influence that cannot be resisted, or like a trance. Right? You know what a spell is. Like,
yes.
You thought of I was in New Orleans with you. We knew voodoo like
Indeed.
that. We got spells. We understood what was going on.
Bingo.
So it's kind of like something people wouldn't normally do or maybe don't want to do. But you cast a spell and they do it. And I thought, am I really going to meet with a psychic spellcaster?
Yes,
so
yes. Have you not?
So I could
go
tell her what? Yeah, I'd really like to make everybody tell all of their friends about our podcast and make sponsors throw money at us to, like, is that what spell would you do?
Well, I hadn't even thought of that. That's actually a good idea.
And they tell 10 friends and you tell 10 friends and you tell 10 friends.
But now I'm starting to feel like there's a commerce angle. Are you telling me that a real human person alive on the planet contacted you via the show's connections and invited you to learn the art of divination and spellcasting in real life?
I think she might have wanted to be a guest on our show. And I thought,
she's a real active listener to know that we don't actually have
you
guests on
listened
this
to our show?
Right. You are a great psychic. Let's start there. I
hope you're better at
prognostication.
I hope you're better at spellcasting because the psychic part
Oh, my Lord.
needs some work.
No, fuck her. But I do think we should have some spell casting going. I mean, I presume it was a her. It could have been an ethereal being or a him. Anyway, what kind of spells are we gonna do?
I don't know.
I feel like being able to cast spells would be great. I don't see any downside from this. I really don't see any downside from this.
Right. I mean,
it
unless
fills
you're
your heart
somebody
with joy.
Unless you're somebody that we are casting a spell to do something you don't want to do.
No, but that's too bad because you need it. I mean, we're doing this in your best interest. We're not mean-spirited witches. We're just doing this because you can't manage your fucking shit. Because if you did, you would have already had this done properly the right way. That's what's happening.
So what are you doing? So you're casting a spell to make people more productive. to make people.
I don't know. That's my thinking song.
I like that song. There's like a banjo interlude while you.
I don't know that I would actually. This is super selfish. I don't know that I would actually start with casting onto and to make others do. Right? Wouldn't I spell onto myself? Wouldn't I? I got to spell all over myself. Wouldn't I spell? Wouldn't I spell?
You better clean that up when you're done.
But it would probably be about productivity or accomplishment. Yeah. I guess that's nice though, because I wouldn't immediately go to I'm going to spell for love. So I'm not so. Yeah, it's like no. I'm going to spell for
11.
like making the bed and washing the hair. Yeah, spell for getting out of the shower and swoop. All of a sudden, I'm dressed and my hair is done. Oh my God, I just got a tingle. Can you imagine? Wow.
All that heat and labor is not even necessary anymore.
Expert action. Because the worst in my case is I'll put the time in to doing my hair. And at the end of it, I'm like,
still looks like this.
What is that? I imagine it's how some people must feel about cooking. They go to all this effort to cook something and then you bite it and you're like, this is awful. Why did I spend money on ingredients and an hour of my time?
And I'm never going to do it again.
That's not how it happens in my kitchen. That's how it happens in my bathroom. That's how it happens in front of the mirror. That's absolutely how it happens. I have to have experts involved. So maybe a hair spell. Hair spell. That's like hairspray and Godspell in one.
I think that's a waste of a spell.
Really?
I do.
Well, compared to global warming, okay. But
all right, Stu, you win.
Fuck you.
You're more altruistic.
I don't know. I mean, that would just where I would start, right? This isn't like my one and only spell for all time. I'm just saying what would give me a nice smile and give me a nice lift right now? Where would you spell? Would you spell for like kids who know to invite you to breakfast? Like, is this where you're going? Or would it be spell that somebody else washes the thongy underpants? Like, I would definitely spell that.
No, I just want them to fold it. No, I'm definitely in it. I'm willing to put the work in. I guess the spell that would interest me more, clearly not most, more would be the ability to get the appropriate reaction from the amount of work you put in. From the amount of...
that's my hair. That's exactly what my hair is. Explain to me how it's not that.
Okay, my hair's never the same twice because it's curly like yours. But
Bingo.
I would prefer it to come for like success for my kids. If they put the work in for them to have that magical response of getting... I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've been disappointed after I worked my ass off. So if you're going to work your ass off, the spell gets you the appropriate response, reaction, the whole nine for the efforts you put in. And I want everybody to love my kids.
It's so interesting to me because you blended yourself and your kids all in one thing. The thing that
I want it for them because I've run into not having it. And I helped work on a race for the U.S. Senate in 1994. We had the right candidate. We busted our asses. We did everything right. And still we lost. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Who are these morons that you're letting vote? Like, I don't understand how that happened. We did everything right. Yes, it's a good lesson to learn that even doing everything right doesn't always give you the right response, but I would like them to feel a positive payoff for a positive amount of work. And then I don't know. I guess that's an interesting.
No, that's an interesting, because I have a millionfold had disappointments, have had, will have, right? So connect with that really deeply. It didn't bubble up in this little spell casting fantasy that we're talking about top of mind. What's so interesting about you pulling that out of your professional life is that experience has nothing to do with you. The disappointment has to do with a system that is far greater than any one person could control. So you basically pulled a global warming out of your hat. Your efforts were not the only variable that could have contributed to the outcome. So you did everything right. You did everything you could, along with everyone else around you. But that has nothing to do with the larger mechanism that's in place. I in no way would attribute that or compare that to the professional or even life goal success of your kids in their endeavors, because it's not about trying to overcome some insurmountable, some super larger than any one person or even group of people trying to move and change. There's so much of that. It is almost like wanting them to be musicians and instantly be on the charts and be famous and be, or actors and then be in Hollywood and be A-list celebrities. You can be a very successful actor. You can be a very successful, very talented musician. You can be the best candidate for the job and not get the job through a variety of external forces that are unknowable to anyone. Even doing absolutely everything right, there's still the realities of the moment that there's so much that influences what's going on. There's a bit of luck involved in that stuff. So maybe I'm talking myself into it. So the idea of spell casting would come back around and say, okay, I get it. It's the luck part that I want to control. So if you are going to do everything right, then we should be able to have that little vial of liquid luck, right, come through and be able to make this shit happen. But in
Is that
your
Harry
world,
Potter we're in now?
yes, in your world, you also have to actually do the work. You have to do the best effort. But when you do, you're guaranteed the result.
Yeah.
Without the best effort, you don't get the result. So, okay, all right, I get it. Okay, yeah. Well, if that's the case, I would spellcast that there's, no more needless gun violence. Like that would be an easy one to snap my fingers, because that to me is something I've tried to dip my toe in that water and help with, and it's just endlessly frustrating to the point where I stop. It's too big for me and my efforts to even make a dent. So I don't do that.
Is that a difference between a wish and a spell? Dear listener, if you could cast a spell, I can give you her number or her email address. If you could cast a spell, dear listener, what spell would you cast? And I'm curious if your answers are to have everybody love me, that it's a Yes Day, that movie Yes Day or Yes
it was
whatever.
Actually a fun movie, yeah.
What kind of spell would you cast? Please let us know by writing to brilliantobservations@gmail.com. You could hit us up on Facebook, Brilliant Observations, Brillobs Squad. You could even send us a picture of your spell on Instagram or Twitter. Show us what you want. Tell us what you're looking for in a spell. I don't know if it's different. Oh, at Listen Brilliant. Find us there at Listen Brilliant. I don't know if a spell and a wish are equivalent. I don't have a birthday cake where I blow out candles and think I would like to cast a spell on all of those who see me as, anything other than super tall, thin, and gorgeous. Like I want to change people's eyes to see me in a certain way. Like I don't think I want to do that because I don't like to leave my house. So I definitely don't want to influence other people.
Here's the thing. I think I was playing too small. What I'm hearing bubble up through your spell definition is a notion that the spell itself would bring about something that could not be otherwise. And in my case, I was using the spell to bring about something that would be difficult to achieve without effort and involvement or time, or it's still possible that it could happen, right? What I'm hearing about your spells, or perhaps even Stuart's spells, is this is something that, if not for the spell, will not be. It is so unlikely and so infinitesimally small that it would happen if not for the intervention of this poof.
Well,
and now it is.
Isn't that what wishes and spells are all about? There are things, otherwise, why wouldn't you just make shit happen? Why wouldn't you just turn on your motor and make shit happen?
Because I lay on the sofa with a remote in my hand, and that's a very wonderful place for me to be.
How is there room for a remote if you're on TikTok? I don't understand.
Oh, so you see.
While you're on that couch with the remote, what are you watching?
Oh, my God. I know I was supposed to watch Winona, and I actually was planning to watch it. Yeah. I didn't have a single second this whole week.
It doesn't sound like it.
No, I've been shot out of a cannon. I honestly, I don't think that I slept any night in the past 8 days more than 4 hours, and I almost fell asleep on the road. I almost fell asleep on the road driving back from dropping my kid at college. I twice debated pulling over to take a nap in the afternoon on the side of the road. That's how tired I got myself. So I finally came home and I thought, I decided I'm going to push through, roll down the windows, whatever I'm going to push through. Made it all the way home, got in the bed, fell asleep for 3 hours. At 5 o'clock at night, fell asleep. When I woke up, house was still dark. Nobody was home. It was nice. It was relaxing. Okay. Got a little bit of a window here. Started watching Loki. It was the worst thing I could have ever done. I am in love with that show and with that character. I watched the entire series. I watched the making of the series. I'm now deeper in than ever before.
We love Loki.
It didn't occur to me how minor a character he truly is because his impact is so great. In all of the movies over the past 11 years, there have been fewer than 3 hours of Loki. Total. He's been on screen
crazy.
2 hours and something amount of minutes. It is unbelievable the impact.
And he's a fan favorite.
He is beyond a fan favorite. He has had less screen time than anybody else in the entire franchise to have this crazy an impact. The series is so good. It is all about self-love, which I am now learning my novel is about. So it was informative to me as a writer, as a character study. Tom Hiddleston is a true god. I mean, he's not a demigod. He is a full-on god, and I mean among men and humans. He takes all his clothes off. Why are we doing anything but just freeze framing this fucking show? And he's broken and busted, and then he tries to get better, and then he does get better. Super good. Why are you watching? It's just Loki. You got to go watch it. You got to watch it right now.
I've seen a few.
And then the other one, that guy, Owen Wilson, is so fucking great because he's busted up and banged up in real life anyway. But he is the perfect foil. He is the perfect foil for Loki because in real life, he's kind of like Loki, but he does it from like, I'm going to do it with a smile. And Loki's like, I'm going to do it with a dagger. So the two of them are perfect together. It's so good, y'all. It's so good. Oh my God, is it good?
All right, Amy highly recommends it. I started it, and then they were dropping one at a time, and I said, "Fuck this! I'm waiting till it's all out." Yeah, so I'll go back to it
now. Mm-hmm.
I'll go back to it.
Yeah, so will I. Many times.
And I'm sure you will.
On that note, I don't need a spell because I know exactly what's going to be making things happen for me.
And his name is Hiddleston.
Say my name. Woo!
He's pretty call you by his name. He's pretty delicious.
Oh my God.
It's nice. That's a nice one to see. I walked by the family room and Stuart was watching the Val Kilmer documentary
I don't
he
know
does
why
about
that
himself.
exists. I don't know why that exists. I'm like, aren't we supposed to do these shows about people who are important? I mean, I'm sorry, but I watched it. I'm like, what'd you do, Val? Why are we watching you now? What happened? You did a couple of biopics? What
Did you watch it?
No. Is it worth it? I mean, I know he's
I don't know.
looking.
I just saw the first 10 minutes because I came up here to hang with you. But it was, I said, I think he was really popular for a while because he had a very different look and a super different name, but a very different look. And now he's had, I believe he's had throat cancer, so he talks through a little stoma thing, but he doesn't really talk. And his son does the voice for most of the show for him.
Oh, now I'm in. I had no idea he no longer has his voice. Brian?
Speaking of talented people, I just really want to hear, you had visitors?
Oh, I did.
Who came to see you?
So it was one of my husband's roommates from college and his immediate family. They did a surprise for their 13-year-old daughter. She is a devotee of the Vampire Diaries, which I don't know anything about that. Okay, so she's super into it. And the day before they left, they said, it's a little early for your birthday, but we wanted to sit you down and give you this birthday gift. So we are going to, tomorrow, drive down to Georgia and go tour the set of the Vampire Diaries.
Oh, that's so cool.
So she flipped the flip out. They drove 3/4 of the way the first day, had dinner with us, spent the night with us, relaxed, and then they went the rest of the way on their journey. And then they're going to spend the whole weekend down there, and then they'll catch us on the way back.
So they left, and you stripped their bed. Find anything interesting in the closet?
I didn't do a thing to their room. I hope this isn't gross. They're going to be staying in their same rooms when they come back to us. So their rooms are the way they left.
Okay, so we didn't flip that yet.
No, they made the beds. They hung up all the towels. They did all the things. I might wash the towels again. But
who else came to see you?
So they're coming back. So it's the same crowd is coming back tonight, actually. So we'll be having them. And then later I'll have 2 in different visits of my college people come through. I have to look at the calendar, a couple of maybe it's next week, and then the other one end of the month. So, and then I get to see a third because I'll be traveling too. So yay! So I get to see all these college friends. So it's college friend a go-go. So it's super, super good. Oh, but the other thing I just want to tell you, oh my God, you guys, the cocktails and the apps that I put together for this thing, they were off the chain. They were so good. I impressed myself. The main course was kind of like, who cares? I hurt myself because I made the main course seem kind of dumb because everything else was so next game level up. So now I'm in trouble.
Level up. Well, you're going to tell us what it is because we got to go. Were you going to tell us?
Well, I will just tell you that the appetizer it was garlic toast bruschetta. So you know how you just basically make garlic toast, but you cook it a little bit longer so it's super crisp on both sides, and you bite it and it's almost crouton like one of these, soaked in butter and garlic and salt. You take it out, and then I slathered that with a specific type, I forget the name, of triple cream brie on top of that, and then I loaded it with roasted Rainier cherries that had gotten a little bit syrupy. So I smothered, split them in half, pulled the pits out, and covered it all over the top, broiled it so that everything is a little bit bubbly. And then when it came out, I hit it with a couple of stripes of balsamic vinegar glaze. Yeah. So that stays in the nice position because it's all syrupy too. And you bite into that shit, and it is crunchy texture, super buttery, garlicky, salty, and then the creaminess, coldness kind of the brie comes through, and then the sweetness of the cherries, and then that sharp again of the vinegar that's also kind of sugary. It's insane. It's fucking insane. It's fucking insane. It's so damn good. And guess what else it is? Easy. It's super easy.
What cocktail paired with that?
So when they first arrived, because it was 94 degrees, I had some frozen palomas, which I totally stole from Barefoot Contessa, but they're super worth it. You juice fresh grapefruits, which is a pain in the dick, but as long as you do it. So I had 3 cups of freshly squeezed grapefruit juice, 1 cup of freshly squeezed lime juice, simple syrup, and a cup of tequila. Put all that together in the freezer the night before. And when they get there, it's tequila's in there, so it doesn't fully freeze. So it's already just a little tiny bit of slushy. So you put it in. You can either do it with a fork and serve it that way, like a granita, or do what I did. Throw it in the blender with a cup or 2 of ice. Blend it up real fast, and then it's this thick, gloppy, slurpy, delicious. And you put some fresh, a sugared grapefruit slice on top. It is so refreshing because it's just barely bitter, but not, and it's light pink colored. So fucking good. And I got Casamigos tequila. Super worth it. Best tequila I've ever had. Super worth it. Go and buy it. It's George Clooney's tequila. It is so much better than any other tequila. You open the bottle of the tequila and the tequila smells good. When does tequila ever smell good? You open the bottle and it smells fruity. Our lives have changed.
I've been with you when you drank out of a shoe.
Well, I that's how I know about the tequilas. Okay. I'm trying to tell you, this one it's super great. I'll drink any tequila. You've got
credibility.
I'll drink. I have had every tequila, and this one I've even had like fancy sipping tequilas and all the stupid shit. This one, it's just balanced. It's just really fucking good, and there's no headache involved. It's worth it. It's worth it, and it's cheap. I mean, it's not like insane. There's Michael Jordan tequila. Don't buy that. You just don't buy that. What are you doing? Stop it. Get George Clooney's tequila and go home and drink it all. And then come back and get some more. You'll have a good weekend. There's your spill.
I'm now starving, so I thank you for that, and my mouth is drooling. Dear listener, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for continuing to listen and give us an open door into your ear hole.
I love it.
So thanks for listening. Oh,